All right, we're back live from ISTE 2015, and I have some friends here from Telestream Wirecast and also from Q. Why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
My name is Andrew Haley, and I'm the Software Applications Specialist over at Telestream.
My name is John Carippo. I'm a friend of Waka the puppet. I'm Waka's puppet.
And today we're talking all about podcasting and broadcasting solutions. I am a big fan of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today. 2 years ago, TeacherCast found this awesome program called Wirecast, and it is absolutely fantastic. It is the broadcasting platform that we're using right now to promote these shows live and to broadcast live. Andrew, why don't you tell us a little bit about Wirecast, what is it, and how people are using it in the classroom?
So Wirecast is a software that goes on your Mac or PC, Windows machine, and it can basically turn your computer, your personal computer, into a tiny broadcasting studio, just like you're doing right now on your laptop and broadcasting this out. You can use our software to basically be your own television director and cut in different camera angles. If you have more than one camera, you can add graphics and titles. You can add fancy effects like replays or even animations and things like that into the software and create an awesome looking piece of content and stream it out live over the web, as well as record it locally into a file on your hard drive.
Now, it's important to note that there are many software solutions and hardware solutions out there for broadcasting that are several thousands of dollars.
That's right.
And Wirecast is perfect for a high school because...
Well, you can actually pick up a version of it for free. We make a version called Wirecast Play, formerly called Wirecast for YouTube, which starts out in the totally expensive zone of free. You can actually pick it up right now, download it from the web, and start broadcasting onto YouTube. YouTube has a live component to their website. They introduced a few years back, and it's available to anyone. And so using that piece of software, it couldn't be easier to just get up and running and start finding your audience.
Now, many people ask me when I'm broadcasting with TeacherCast about all these wires and all this setup and the microphones. But John, there's a way to do Wirecast without knowing any of this. Tell them how we can do Wirecast from this.
Well, the great thing, having been a high school video teacher for over 10 years, is that you get the free version of Wirecast. As soon as it comes up, boom, your web camera on your Mac, it pops right up. You push a red button, you put in your YouTube live info, you're broadcasting. It's really that simple. It takes a few minutes to kind of get the settings in, but what's great for school is you're not trapped in a box, right? So now Wirecast has a free app so that any iOS device can be a remote camera on your Wi-Fi network. So I just want to cast a vision. Instead of a $200,000 room with lights and plugs and all that big stuff, you've got a MacBook or PC, you've got a couple iOS devices. You can get like the iRig adapter you talked about yesterday at the Birds of a Feather meeting. You can have kids literally going around interviewing people. So you can be broadcasting from all over campus, just like that. And then what's great also about Wirecast is you can put the full demo. You get the fully functioning demo is free. So imagine you have a computer lab. Every kid can be practicing. So it's not that model where it's the $10,000 single box that only the teacher can touch because you might break it. So it completely ramps up the broadcasting capability. We've used Wirecast to do, you'll like this, we've actually run film festivals on Wirecast. So we've got our live cameras coming in, we've got the videos, the nominees rolled up, we made the preview videos like in Keynote, and boom, 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 we just go right through, and the kids run the whole thing, I don't even have to touch the board.
That is amazing. And the nice thing about that is you said kids are doing the work.
Right.
The ownership of the work is in the hands of the students, and that's pretty powerful.
Yeah. The other training thing that we've done, I think you'll like this too, I will take the new kids, the freshmen and sophomores, and when we're having a dance, we'll just hook Wirecast into 2 cameras, and we'll just tell them to play. Because it's got all those filters, right? It's got the kaleidoscope and the trippy things.
Right.
And so the kids are dancing, we just have the cameras on the kids, and we're just doing trippy stuff. And that's how we train them. And they're like, hey, did you know it does this? And they'll do a 3 or 4 shot, and they'll do the mirror effect that you never use. It's awesome at a dance. So I just let the freshmen play, and then pretty soon we're doing football games and graduation.
And for the record, those filters are only available on the Mac version because they work through QuickTime. But PC users, sorry, you're a little left out on that front. But if you're on a Mac, definitely play with those.
It's a great reason to buy a Mac today.
So we have a couple of questions in here. Number one, they're actually applauding you here online, saying free is good. John, you, I believe, are a YouTube rock star. What is your title?
YouTube star teacher.
Now, I want to get people here, because when we started with Wirecast, there was a rule that says to broadcast on YouTube, you needed, I believe it was 1,000 subscribers. Then it went down to 100 subscribers, and now all you have to do is just get a YouTube account. In layman's terms, how easy is it to set up broadcasting on YouTube?
It's just about as easy as setting up your email. You make your YouTube account, you log in with your email information, you say, I want to live stream, it sends you a text, you answer the text, bam.
Can you do this in a Google Apps for Education account, or do you have to do this in a Gmail account?
I think it'll work in Google Apps.
It does. I've done that. Yeah.
Unless your district maybe has pushed the button on the backside, but it should work fine. And then there's, just to want to be fair, there's other options. You can use uStream, you can use live stream. So you're not even, if that's not a choice for you, there are multiple options. Wirestream will pump it out to pretty much anything you want.
So one of the features that I really like and that's not talked about is something called a virtual camera. And I use these because I actually have my Wirecast set up here on my desktop, and then when I log into Google Hangouts or some of these webinar platforms, instead of just using my normal camera, I throw on Wirecast, and now while I'm in my webinar, while I'm giving a presentation virtually, I can throw all the bells and whistles on here. That's an awesome feature.
It's super awesome. And just for your audience, I want to clarify that we're now kind of straying into our regular Wirecast product line, which is not available for free. So if you want the YouTube version Wirecast Play, that is free. That has a very sort of limited feature set for the YouTube platform. You could upgrade and buy some versions of the software that are much more affordable and just a few $100. But then if you want the virtual camera to go anywhere, if you want the ability to go to uStream, BAM User, Bright Cove, Akamai, any of those other locations outside of YouTube, then you will need just regular old vanilla Telestream Wirecast, which you can get from our website. And that is a little more expensive. That doesn't start at free. But to answer your question about the virtual camera, we have customers that use that feature exclusively. That's all they buy Wirecast for, because they want exactly what you're talking about, the complete power of a production studio into a webcam that they're using on GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar or On24. So it's a really versatile piece of software. You don't have to use it in one way.
Now I have a couple more questions coming in here. Lee in our chat room says he can't find the link to the free version on your website. How do they download that free version?
Right, so that is actually in transition at the moment. It's kind of a hidden link. If I remember it correctly, we're actually going to, it used to be you'd have to go into YouTube and then you'd find a banner for it and you'd get directed to it that way. Since YouTube and that whole contractual thing has changed, they're changing their platform, Wirecast Play no longer has a direct link from that place. So to get to it, you're going to go to www.telestream.net, and then it's /Wirecast for YouTube /CB-landing.htm. So I think what we'll do is put that in the show notes for your customers.
Show notes.
Now let me show you the power of Wirecast here. We have in this room, we have one camera that you're looking at right there, and we have 3 people. But very, very easily, I can hit a button and our camera angle changes.
Whoa, that's the same camera? That's amazing. How
that
did
is
you
the
do
same
that?
camera. I just hit a button. And then I can come over here and suddenly, boom, we have a close-up of John.
It's a nice 2-shot.
And then we can have all this. So you can have one camera with multiple shots. So imagine that you are doing the opening keynote of your school next year and you have an iPad. You can actually just put an iPad or even your iPhone in the middle of your auditorium, and very, very easily you can have all this stuff.
And it's drag and drop easy.
And it's drag and drop.
Stretch it until it looks good.
And if you're familiar with any photo editing, all it takes is knowing a little bit about layers, and watch this. You can have that pop up too.
And it's almost Eagles colors.
It certainly is. So there's a lot of neat stuff. If you're asking any questions about how we use Wirecast on the Tech Educator podcast, it is absolutely there. I'm going to make this very easy. We're going to come up with a link that's going to be TeacherCast.net/ and I'm going to put it down as, actually it's probably under your screen right now if you're watching the edited version. And we will make sure that there is a link for anybody who wants to download, purchase, or have a part of Wirecast in their schools. It starts at free. The base version is $500. The pro version is $1,000. For schools, that is a really, really good deal. Andrew, where do we find Wirecast?
At www.telestream.net/Wirecast.
Excellent. Now, John, I want to, before we wrap up here, talk about something that you and I are kind of in the planning stages for. We are offering teachers a trip to go to Hollywood. Is that true?
Yes.
Excellent. That's it, folks. No, there's more than that.
There is more. Yeah, a good friend of mine, Antonio Manriquez, is the film teacher at Hollywood High School. And so what we're putting together this fall, we don't have a firm date yet, but we're putting together an event that would be 2 days of doing this kind of stuff. Can you come down?
I would love to.
Okay, so imagine this scenario. For about $250, 2 days, you can work with Andrew, work with me, work with you, work with Antonio, go through a boot camp, come out, and you will have already broadcasted. And we're setting it up so that when you leave, you'll have Wirecast with you. So I think that'll be a really good model for teachers. What I think is really cool about Wirecast, in my final comments here, is that what Wirecast provides is really what a modern classroom is, where in the old days, you would have to be in the studio to shoot. You would have to use special mics, only the teacher or maybe that one kid would touch the board. Now you're really talking about a distributed model, where you can take, this is portable, right? You can pick this up. So you could use this event to broadcast the graduation in the gym or the basketball game. You go to the football game, you go on a field trip, and you can record and tape.
Yep.
So that's what Wirecast builds. One of my favorite little hacks here is we'll take these kids out and we'll bring a wireless access point with no internet. And we just use it for the cameras. So we can have 3 or 4 cameras within eyesight, and we can have one kid at the pond and one kid over in the field and one kid up in the tree and mix that up. That's what modern teaching looks like. It's highly mobile, and Wirecast provides that kind of functionality. It's really cool.
There are a lot of people sitting here in the chat saying, sign me up. I just want to remind you, we will make sure that all the links and stuff are in the show notes for this video. We will make sure that everything is on the screen. We definitely want to help you guys be digital rock stars. Speaking of digital rock stars.
Oh yeah. We do Q Rockstar camps all over the place, and we've got one coming up in Boston that you'll be at and I'll be at. You're going to be teaching Final Cut there?
I'll be teaching Final Cut and broadcasting. So we're actually going to be teaching this
during lunch, right? You'll be doing lunch interviews.
I'll be doing this too.
People how to hook stuff up. So that's in early August in the Bedford area near Boston. And then next week we're kicking off a camp in Saugatuck, Michigan. The Q Rockstar camps, if people out there haven't heard of them, it's a camp that has a 10-to-1 ratio. We have 10 faculty members of your qualifications, Apple Distinguished Educators, Google Certified Teachers, 10 of those, only 100 attendees maximum. So you're working in small groups. Every session is hands-on.
And so this is not going to be 8 hours in a chair?
No. In fact, we start late and we end early because it's summer camp. Camp doesn't start till 9:30 in the morning. We have about a half an hour. All of the presenters do a little 2-minute, what we call shred session, to kind of get the crowd pumped up and excited and see what the session is. We go until lunch. There's a nice catered lunch. We hang out and do an unconference for 2 hours. We give everybody free ice cream, and then we kick them out to the next session, which goes from 2 to 4, and then we go out and socialize.
Guys, there's so much stuff going on here at ISTE. We will be right back live. Check out Wirecast, check out Q Rockstar Camps, check out Telestream today. I'll be right back from ISTE 2015.